The sky above Central Park was crystal clear, the stars barely visible against the glow of New York City's lights. As if on cue with the clock striking midnight, a faint hum began to fill the air, a sound so peculiar and unfamiliar that it caused the few night joggers and late strollers to pause and look up. Above them, the stars seemed to shift, rearranging themselves into a pattern that spelled out an imminent, unearthly visitation. Dr. Lena Reyes, an astrophysicist, was among the onlookers that night. She had spent her career scanning the heavens for signs of extraterrestrial life, never really expecting to witness it firsthand. Yet there it was, a massive ship, descending silently, its size eclipsing the moon. The crowd around her gasped, their phones out, capturing what would soon be the most monumental event in human history. The ship landed softly on the great lawn, its hull gleaming under the park lights. A ramp descended with a hiss, and out walked beings from another world. They were tall, slender, with translucent skin that shimmered with a bioluminescent glow. Their large, almond-shaped eyes expressed curiosity as they surveyed the gathering crowd, their movements graceful and cautious. Lena pushed forward, her scientific mind racing with questions. She was among the first to approach the aliens, her hand extended in a universal gesture of peace. To her surprise, the nearest alien reciprocated, its hand cool and smooth against hers. "Welcome to Earth," Lena said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We come in peace," the alien replied, its voice a melodic whisper that seemed to resonate directly in her mind. "We are the Arelu. We have watched your world from afar and wish to learn." As the Arelu mingled with the humans, news of their arrival spread like wildfire across the globe. Governments scrambled, scientists theorized, and social media buzzed with unending questions. But amidst this global upheaval, a peculiar interest arose among the aliens themselves, not in technology or history, but in something much simpler, Earth's fauna. It was during a live broadcast that the world witnessed an Arelu's astonishment with a dog, a stray that had wandered into Central Park, likely drawn by the commotion. The dog, a scruffy terrier mix, approached one of the aliens, tail wagging, and to everyone's surprise, the Arelu reached out and gently petted it. The alien's face lit up with wonder, and it turned to its companions, gesturing excitedly. They too approached and began to pet the dog, their faces showing expressions of sheer joy and curiosity. The scene was broadcasted worldwide, an instant viral sensation. "Why is this allowed?" one Arelu asked Lena, genuinely puzzled. "Allowed?" Lena echoed, confused. "To touch another living creature so freely," the alien elaborated. "On our world, such interactions are rare and regulated." Lena smiled, a realization dawning upon her. "Here on Earth, we find joy in our connection with other creatures. It's a bond, a form of affection and trust." The aliens absorbed her words, their eyes wide with a mixture of envy and fascination. The simple act of petting a dog, so mundane to humans, was to them an act of profound freedom and interpersonal connection. As the night progressed, more Earth creatures were brought to Central Park: cats, rabbits, even a horse. Each introduction was met with the same wondrous reactions from the Arelu. They were learning not about human technology or achievements, but about the human capacity for affection and unguarded interaction with the natural world. This revelation, broadcasted and shared, changed the global conversation. It wasn't just about the technological or political implications of first contact anymore. It was about something far more universal, how humanity's simplest actions could bridge the vastest of cosmic divides. As the dawn approached, with the Arelu still engrossed in their new earthly experiences, Lena looked on, her heart full. She realized that in their quest for advanced extraterrestrial life, humans had overlooked what might be their most extraordinary trait: the ability to love and care for another living thing without hesitation. This marked just the beginning of a remarkable exchange between Earth and the Arelu, with each day promising new lessons and insights. But for now, Lena knew that humanity had shown something truly special, not just to their visitors, but to themselves. In the days following the Arelu's arrival, Central Park transformed into a nexus of interspecies interaction and cultural exchange. Tents sprang up like mushrooms after rain. each hosting a variety of activities aimed at fostering understanding between humans and their extraterrestrial guests. Among these, the petting pavilion was the most popular, attracting not only the Aralu, but also humans eager to witness the aliens' fascination with Earth's animals. Lena often visited the pavilion, keen to observe the interactions. One morning she noticed an Aralu named Cyril, who seemed particularly taken with a pair of parakeets. The birds, vibrant green and chirping merrily, hopped onto Cyril's outstretched fingers, their tiny claws tickling the alien's translucent skin. "It's remarkable," Cyril communicated telepathically, their voice a gentle echo in Lena's mind. "These creatures are so delicate, yet so trusting. It speaks volumes about your world." Lena watched, her eyes reflecting a mix of pride and curiosity. "They're used to humans. We've lived alongside each other for thousands of years. Pets help us feel connected, not just to nature, but to a shared existence." As the Aralu explored further, their questions became more poignant, probing deeper into human ethics and emotions associated with animals. "Do you feel a responsibility toward these creatures?" Cyril asked, their gaze lingering on a sleeping cat. "Yes, we do," Lena replied. "We protect, care for, and sometimes even mourn them as family." This concept intrigued the Aralu, for whom relationships were primarily based on utility and mutual benefit within their own species. The idea of emotional attachment to another species was foreign, almost revolutionary to their society. Meanwhile, at the United Nations, leaders and diplomats were engaged in intense discussions about the implications of the Aralu's visit. The initial shock had given way to strategic planning and negotiations, but the footage of aliens marveling at Earth's fauna continued to soften the hearts and minds of the global populace. Back in the pavilion, a group of children had joined the crowd. They giggled as a small Aralu attempted to mimic a child's playful interaction with a puppy, its movements awkward but gentle. The scene was a poignant reminder of the innocence and joy found in simple acts of kindness, a universal language transcending planetary boundaries. Seeing this, Lena proposed a new initiative, an interspecies education program. "We have much to teach each other," she suggested to the assembly of human and Aralu leaders. "Not just about technology or survival, but about companionship, empathy, and nurturing." The proposal was met with enthusiasm. Education centers were set up not only on Earth, but plans were made for similar setups on the Aralu's homeworld. This exchange was to include not just humans and Aralu, but selected Earth animals as well, chosen for their ability to adapt and interact gently with the aliens. As the weeks turned into months, the bonds formed in the petting pavilion exemplified a broader, more profound connection. Earth's creatures, once mere residents of one planet, were now ambassadors in their own right, teaching lessons not written in any text but felt deeply in the hearts of all beings involved. Cyril, who had first been taken with the parakeets, now found themselves regularly communicating with Lena, sharing insights and observations. "Your world is rich with life and lessons," Cyril admitted one evening as they watched the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. "In learning about your pets, we learn about you. Your compassion, your complexities, and your capacity for love." The exchange of knowledge and culture between Earth and the Aralu had only just begun, but already it was clear that the small, everyday experiences shared between beings, human or otherwise, were crafting a new narrative, one woven with strands of care, curiosity, and an undeniable connection that spanned the stars. As autumn painted Central Park with strokes of orange and red, the collaboration between Earth and the Aralu deepened. The interspecies education centers had become a reality, with the first of its kind opening in the park itself. The center was a marvel of both human and Aralu architecture, designed to accommodate the needs of both species and their earthly companions. Inside the center, classrooms were filled with a mix of human children and Aralu youth, all learning together. The curriculum was diverse, covering Earth's biological ecosystems, Aralu technology, and shared courses on empathy and social responsibility. The presence of animals in these classrooms was not just for education, but for fostering an emotional connection among the students. Lena, who had taken a sabbatical from her university to dedicate herself to this project, taught a class on interspecies ethics. One day, she introduced her students to an elderly elephant brought in from a nearby sanctuary. The elephant's gentle demeanor and wise, knowing eyes captured everyone's attention. "Elephants are revered on Earth for their memory and intelligence," Lena explained. "They mourn their dead, just as we do, and they celebrate births with joy. They show us that awareness and emotions are not exclusive to humans." The Araloo students, their luminescent skin flickering softly in response, reached out tentatively to touch the elephant's rough, wrinkled hide. The connection was palpable, a silent communication of respect and wonder that transcended language. Meanwhile, diplomatic relations were evolving. The United Nations had established a new body, the Interspecies Relations Committee, with representatives from both Earth and the Araloo's governing councils. Together, they worked on formal agreements for technology sharing and cultural exchanges, mindful of the delicate balance required to maintain equity and respect for both civilizations. On the streets of New York and in cities around the world, human attitudes towards wildlife began to shift. Inspired by the Araloo's reverence for Earth's fauna, conservation efforts saw renewed support and vigor. Zoos transformed into conservation centers, focusing on rehabilitation and education rather than mere exhibition. The Araloo, in return, opened up about their own planet's wildlife, which was vastly different from Earth's. They shared virtual reality experiences with humans, showcasing creatures that thrived in their world's unique ecosystems, beings that seemed born of fantasy and science fiction, with abilities that defied earthly physics and biology. During one of these sessions, an Araloo named Phelan shared a particularly moving story about the Lyran, a species on their planet that could manipulate electromagnetic fields to communicate. The Lyran were once hunted for this ability, seen as a resource rather than sentient beings. "It took us centuries to see them as fellow creatures with rights," Phelan recounted, their voice tinged with regret. This story struck a chord with the human audience, drawing a parallel to Earth's own history of exploiting animals. It sparked a global conversation about ethical treatment of all sentient beings, challenging people to see not just with their eyes, but with their hearts. As winter approached and the first snowflakes began to blanket the park, the Interspecies Education Center prepared for its first cultural festival. The event was a showcase of music, art, and food from both worlds. Humans and Araloo worked side by side, setting up booths and stages, their collaborative spirit a testament to the bridges they had built. At the festival, a young Araloo named Kellis, who had learned to play the piano, performed a piece that blended human classical music with Araloo harmonic scales. The result was a haunting melody that seemed to resonate in the very air, drawing a crowd of mixed species who listened in rapt attention. The festival ended with a display of lights, a human fireworks show accompanied by Araloo light sculptures that danced across the night sky. It was a celebration of unity and a reflection of the journey that had begun with simple curiosity and had blossomed into an enduring partnership. As Lena watched the lights with Cyril by her side, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment. This partnership was not just about learning from each other, but about growing together, a testament to the potential for harmony between the stars. The cultural festival became a beacon for a burgeoning new tradition, sparking similar events globally, where communities embraced both the spectacle and the profound unity it represented. As winter melted into spring, the Interspecies Education Center celebrated its first successful year. This milestone was marked by the launch of an ambitious new project, the Terra Araloo Conservation Initiative, TACI, aimed at preserving endangered species across both planets. Lena spearheaded TACI, drawing from her extensive network of ecologists, biologists, and conservationists. The initiative employed cutting-edge technology from both worlds, combining Earth's satellite tracking systems with Araloo's bioenhancement techniques to create sanctuaries where threatened species could thrive. One of the first projects under TACI was the restoration of coral reefs using Araloo bioengineering technology. The Araloo had mastered the art of accelerating coral growth without compromising the ecosystem's balance, a technique Earth's marine biologists eagerly adopted. The collaboration resulted in flourishing underwater habitats, which not only supported marine life but also helped stabilize coastal ecosystems affected by climate change. Meanwhile, the Araloo shared their concerns about the chrysalis, a bioluminescent forest on their planet suffering from a mysterious blight. Earth's botanists and pathologists joined forces with Araloo scientists, traveling to the alien world to study the affliction firsthand. They discovered that the blight was due to a breakdown in the symbiotic relationship between the chrysalis trees and a native fungal network. Inspired by Earth's mycorrhizal bioremediation techniques, the team developed a fungal inoculant that not only halted the blight, but also revitalized the forest, allowing it to glow brightly once again. Back on Earth, the exchange of ideas and cultural practices deepened the bonds between humans and Araloo. Schools now regularly held sessions where students could engage in virtual reality exchanges, visiting each other's worlds to learn about different environments and cultures. These VR sessions were more than just educational. They were windows to understanding the ethos of each civilization. One afternoon during a session in Central Park, a group of Araloo students experienced a virtual rainstorm in the Amazon rainforest. The sensation of rain, alien to their dry, temperate homeworld, was mesmerizing. "It's like the sky is weeping with joy," one Araloo child remarked, their expression awestruck. This simple statement echoed around the park, reminding everyone of the beauty and wonder inherent in the everyday aspects of each world. In politics and governance, the United Nations adapted to include the Araloo in decision-making processes, especially in areas involving space exploration and environmental policy. This led to the formation of the Joint Earth Araloo Advisory Board, GAA, tasked with ensuring that space missions were conducted responsibly, with an emphasis on preserving the integrity of celestial bodies and minimizing space debris. The relationship between Earth and the Araloo also paved the way for a reevaluation of Earth's own internal conflicts. Nations that had been at odds over resources and territorial disputes began to see the benefits of cooperation, inspired by the global and interstellar partnership. This shift wasn't immediate, and it wasn't without its challenges, but the overarching theme was clear. Unity was not just beneficial, it was necessary for survival. One clear spring night, as Lena walked through the now thriving chrysalis forest on the Araloo's planet, she reflected on the changes the past few years had brought. The air was alive with shimmering lights, and the ground hummed with the sounds of a healed ecosystem. It was a poignant reminder of the resilience of life and the power of cooperative endeavor. As she touched the smooth bark of a chrysalis tree, its glow brightened, as if acknowledging her presence. In that moment, Lena realized that this was not merely about saving environments or species. It was about understanding that every action, every decision, impacted the fabric of the cosmos. The lessons learned here about empathy, cooperation, and respect would guide humanity in the Araloo as they navigated the complexities of their shared future. As the Terra Araloo Conservation Initiative expanded, its influence rippled through both societies, creating a blueprint for sustainable living that was adopted by communities far beyond the initial project areas. Urban planners on Earth and the Araloo homeworld began integrating biophilic designs that facilitated natural ecosystems within city landscapes, promoting biodiversity and improving the quality of urban life. In one of the newly redesigned cities, towering vertical gardens shared space with residential complexes, and public parks were equipped with biofilter plants that purified air and water naturally. These green cities became havens for urban wildlife, and a testament to the feasibility of a symbiotic relationship between urban development and nature preservation. The advances in technology and conservation were matched by strides in social integration. Cultural exchanges had become a cornerstone of Earth-Araloo relations. Festivals, art exhibits, and culinary events regularly featured elements from both cultures, creating a fusion that was both exotic and familiar to all participants. During one significant cultural exchange event, an Araloo artist named Thesson collaborated with a human counterpart, Maria, to create an interactive art installation that used light, sound, and bio-responsive technologies. Visitors walking through the installation experienced changes in the environment triggered by their own physiological responses, such as heart rate and body temperature. This immersive experience aimed to demonstrate how deeply connected all beings are, with each visitor's reaction affecting the collective atmosphere of the space. In academia, universities established joint degree programs that allowed students to study on both Earth and the Araloo homeworld, focusing on fields like astrobiology, environmental science, and interspecies psychology. These programs not only prepared students for careers that spanned galaxies, but also ingrained a deep understanding of the importance of cultural and ecological diversity. Meanwhile, the Joint Earth Araloo Advisory Board tackled one of the most ambitious projects yet, the creation of a joint exploration fleet designed for missions that would venture beyond the solar system. The fleet was equipped with hybrid technology, incorporating human engineering prowess and Araloo advancements in energy efficiency and faster-than-light travel. One of the first missions of this new fleet was to a nearby star system where anomalous signals had been detected. The crew, a mix of human and Araloo scientists and explorers, prepared for what could be a first contact situation with another extraterrestrial civilization. The excitement and tension were palpable as the fleet approached the coordinates from where the signals originated. Back on Earth, the success of these joint ventures had a surprising and heartwarming side effect. A new generation of children grew up without the prejudices or fears about differences that had plagued earlier generations. Schools taught courses on galactic history and diplomacy from a young age, and children learned Araloo languages alongside human ones, as naturally as they learned to navigate digital environments. In one elementary school, a group project captured the essence of this new era. Children created a digital mural depicting scenes from both Earth and the Araloo homeworld, intertwined with themes of friendship, exploration, and mutual protection of their environments. This project, among others, was later shared with the public as part of a global showcase on interspecies collaboration. As the exploration fleet neared its destination, the people of Earth and the Araloo gathered in public squares, homes, and educational centers to watch the live feed. The anticipation of discovering another life form, possibly one that could join this growing interstellar community, reminded everyone of the day the Araloo first arrived on Earth. That historic moment had sparked a transformation in how humanity viewed itself and its place in the universe. Now, with potential new horizons expanding before them, Lena looked around at the assembled crowd of mixed species, their faces upturned not just in hope or curiosity, but in a shared belief in the strength of their united path. This collective gaze towards the stars was not just about exploration, it was a reaffirmation of their commitment to forge ahead as stewards of peace and guardians of life in all its forms. As the exploration fleet closed in on the source of the mysterious signals, the anticipation across both Earth and the Araloo homeworld reached a fever pitch. Community centers, public squares, and virtual platforms were abuzz with discussions and debates, everyone speculating about the potential outcomes of this historic mission. On board the flagship, Captain Helena Mirek, a veteran of space exploration missions, stood at the helm, her gaze fixed on the main screen displaying the approaching star system. Beside her, Commander Serac, an Araloo who had been involved in the interspecies program from its inception, monitored the energy signatures emanating from a small, seemingly lifeless planet. The sensors picked up structured electromagnetic waves, a clear indication of intelligent life. The crew prepared for a cautious approach, their protocol designed to ensure that any initial contact would be non-intrusive and respectful. Helena and Serac had rehearsed this moment countless times, yet the reality of it sent a thrill through the command deck. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Lena hosted a panel discussion with top scientists and diplomats from both species. The event was broadcast live, providing real-time analysis and commentary on the unfolding situation. "This moment," Lena said, addressing the camera, "is not just about making contact. It's about how we handle the delicate balance of introducing ourselves to potentially unaware civilizations. It's about diplomacy, not just discovery." The fleet finally entered orbit around the planet, and the analysis confirmed a breathable atmosphere and signs of extensive vegetation and water bodies. But there were no obvious signs of technology or urban centers. It was an enigma that suggested a civilization at once sophisticated enough to send out signals, yet seemingly integrated fully into its natural surroundings. A small team, including both human and Araloo members, descended to the surface in a shuttle, landing near one of the stronger signal sources. They stepped out into a world of vibrant colors and strange, beautiful flora. The air was filled with the sounds of unseen fauna, and the ground teemed with life. The source of the signals turned out to be a series of structures, seamlessly integrated into the surrounding environment. They were organic, grown rather than built, pulsating with energy. As the team approached, a group of beings appeared. They were humanoid, but of a translucent material that seemed to absorb and reflect the light around them. Sarek stepped forward, broadcasting peaceful intentions. The beings responded, their voices a harmonic convergence that resonated in the minds of the team. "We are the Orelai," they communicated. "We have awaited your arrival." Back on Earth and the Arelu homeworld, this interaction was watched with bated breath. The Orelai explained that they had detected the Arelu and human explorations, and had sent out signals in hope of attracting like-minded civilizations. Their society was based on what they termed bioharmony, a principle that guided their interactions with their planet, and now potentially with the newcomers. The news of this successful contact spread quickly, sparking celebrations across both worlds. But more importantly, it sparked a new chapter in interstellar relations. The Orelai were invited to join the Interspecies Relations Committee, and talks began about integrating their principles of bioharmony into the wider community's dealings. As the inaugural conference was held, with representatives from Earth, the Arelu, and now the Orelai, Lena reflected on the profound impact of these relationships. The universe felt smaller, yet infinitely richer with the possibilities of what could be learned and shared. In her closing remarks at the conference, Lena summed up the sentiment that had become a guiding principle for the expanded community. Our diversity is our strength, not just among species, but within our own. We thrive not in spite of our differences, but because of them. Today we stand together, not just as allies, but as family, bound by our shared commitment to respect, understand, and protect all forms of life. With these words, the conference concluded, leaving a legacy of hope and commitment to a future where cooperation and respect across species and galaxies would be the cornerstone of civilization. As the delegates from 3 distinct worlds mingled, sharing stories and laughter, the boundaries between them blurred, replaced by the ties of friendship and a collective pursuit of a harmonious universe.